Our next chemical property is what will happen when metal will react with water. So before moving to that, so we should know about the solubility or the alkalis. So metal oxides, metal oxides we have seen when metal react with oxygen they form metal oxides. So these metal oxides, some are soluble in water. That means they get mixed with the water. While some metal oxides are not soluble. They do not get mixed in the water. So generally when metal react with water, first of all they will form metal oxide and hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas. So when metal react with water, they form metal oxide and hydrogen gas. These metal oxides, if it is again soluble in water, that means if it is again reactable with the water, then it will again react with the water and it will form metal hydroxide. So this metal oxide which is formed here will again react with the water if it is soluble in the water, then it will form metal hydroxide. Metal hydroxide. So in case we can say that we get two formulas. So when metal react with water, so when metal react with water, that is metal hydroxide plus hydrogen gas. That is, when metal react with water, it can form metal oxide and hydrogen gas, or if metal react with water, then it can also form metal hydroxide and hydrogen gas. Now let us see with the reactivity series. So before moving that, we will see the water. So we have water. Our waters are mainly of based on temperature. Based on temperature of water, we will have mainly three types of water. First it is cold water, which is very low temperature. Again, next it is hot water or warm water. Hot water, cold, hot and super hot. So which we call it steam. Steam water. It means water present in the form of vapor. So now there are some metals which react with cold water, some react only with the hot water, some react only with the steam. So we have to see them. So potassium, sodium, calcium. Okay, it's very easy to remember. The formula is, as you can see here, the formula is 3-1-3. How many are there? 3, 1, 3. 3, 1, 3. This is the trick. So that is potassium, sodium, calcium. These three. So they react with the cold water. These three react with cold water. Next it is 1, 3, 1. What is 1? Magnesium. So it reacts with hot water. 3 1 again 3. That is what? Aluminium, zinc and iron. That means they will react with the steam water. Okay. So one important thing, those metals which react with the cold water, they can also react with the hot water. If sodium, potassium, calcium, these three metals, they react with the cold water, that means they will also react with the hot water. That means they will also react with the steam water. Okay. Now magnesium. So magnesium react with the hot water. Magnesium can also react with the steam water, but magnesium will not react with cold water. Okay. That means aluminium, it can only react with steam water. Aluminium doesn't react with hot water, neither cold water. Zinc, it only react with the steam water. It will not react with the hot water as well as cold water. Iron, it will only react with the steam water. It will not react with hot water as well as cold water. That means those metals which are reacting with cold, it can react with hot, steam. Hot water can react with steam, and steam only with the steam water. Clear? So now the thing is, so cold water. So potassium, when we react potassium with the water, so first of all it will become potassium oxide and hydrogen gas. This potassium oxide will again react. Potassium oxide will again react with whom? Water, and become potassium hydroxide. So that means we will finally get what? Potassium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. So second rule formula is following: metal plus water, metal plus water, metal hydroxide. That is, metal is potassium and hydroxide and hydrogen gas. Sodium, it will form sodium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. Okay. So one thing you remember, potassium, sodium, when we react them with the water, no, the reaction becomes so vigorous. It is very highly exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction means during the chemical reaction, if heat is released. So when potassium or sodium is reacting with the water, then during the reaction it will release very huge amount of heat, and this heat, it enables the hydrogen gas which is producing to burning. That means the heat which is producing during the reaction, because of that heat, the hydrogen gas, it gets burns. Okay. That means during the reaction of potassium and sodium with the cold water, they catches fire. If you throw sodium metal and potassium metal on the water, then you will see they are burning on the water. Okay. Why? Because the reaction is highly exothermic. Okay. Catches reaction is highly exothermic. Yes. So the potassium and sodium reacting with the water reaction is very exothermic reaction. As a result, the heat produced enables or the hydrogen evolved during the reaction get burned. Now calcium. Calcium plus water, it become calcium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. So here also, in this case, calcium reacting with the water is also an exothermic reaction. But the heat produced here is not too much. It is very less. As a result, the hydrogen gas does not get burned. Okay, hydrogen gas doesn't get burned. But in case of potassium and sodium, the heat produced is too much, too high. The hydrogen gas which is produced during the reaction, it get burned. Now, and one more thing, the hydrogen gas which is produced here, when we see the beaker, so this is the beaker, and here is the water. So, and this is the calcium metal. What metal? Calcium metal. So during the reaction, the hydrogen gas which is produced here, so water, and when we dip calcium metal, the hydrogen gas which is produced, so it will attach with the calcium metal. Here, it will attach with the calcium metal. As a result, the calcium metal will start floating on the surface of the water. Okay, it will start floating. Same things happen when magnesium reacts with the water. It becomes magnesium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. Okay. So same thing. When magnesium, if we assume this is also as a magnesium metal, so we have dipped the magnesium metal on the water. Then the magnesium metal will react with the water and it will produce which gas? Hydrogen gas. This hydrogen gas will attach with the magnesium metal and it keeps the magnesium metal on the brings up in the surface of the water. It will keep on floating because of the hydrogen gas. Now aluminum. Aluminum reacting with the water. So when aluminum reacts with the water, it only follows the rule first step. Metal plus water become metal oxide and hydrogen gas. So aluminum reacting with water become aluminum oxide and hydrogen gas. That is Al2O3 plus H2. And zinc. Zinc also same. It will also become zinc oxide and hydrogen gas. And iron also same. It will become iron oxide plus H2. So that means those metals which are reacting with the steam, they only form metal oxide, not metal hydroxide. But other metals which are reacting with the cold water as well as hot water, they form what? Metal hydroxide. They are calcium, potassium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide. So how can we remember? It is 3, 1, 3. No? You remember the reactivity series? 3, 1, 3. And after that the rest, lead, copper, mercury, silver, gold, they do not react with the water. So that means they will never react with either cold water, hot water or steam. With any kind of water they do not react these other metals. Okay? So note it down.